All right, guys, Fern here, best hour of their day. I want to talk a little bit about toes to bar, and there's some intermediate stops here for those athletes who can get their toes to the bar, but they really struggle to keep the kip swing intact. And I want to give an alternative scaling option for those specific athletes. So we've got young Katie here, and I want to give you guys an example of what I'm talking about. So we've got these athletes that can get their toes to the bar, but their feet are going to fall straight down, and they have to start the kip swing over and over again. And what we're referring to is this. So go ahead and demonstrate that one for me real quick, Katie. So she can get there, but then she drops her feet and she doesn't have the ability to keep that kip swing intact. So go ahead and come on down. So what we're gonna do, remember, toes to bar is a standard, largely it is a competition standard, so we have some sort of objective metric with which to judge the athlete. In the context of the class, what we're gonna prioritize here a little bit more is their ability to keep the kip swing intact. That is how we're gonna determine what the appropriate height of the feet pulling up. So it may be 50%, it may be 75%. Here's a little tip for everybody. There is no magic in that range of motion. That just is an obvious stopping point. However, what I'm more concerned about is keeping intensity high. So we're gonna default to keeping the kip swing over potentially getting their toes to the bar. This is obviously not an absolute, but I find these to be a little bit more effective and helps people build capacity over time. So first thing I'm gonna have Katie do is she's just gonna get up onto the pull-up bar and she's gonna establish just a kip swing. So just show me a kip swing here, Katie. So she's gonna keep her feet together. She's got good control here. Good, and then stop. Good. So from here, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna start establishing what an appropriate range of motion for her would be. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna establish a target, and as we move forward, I'll just keep moving the target until one of two things happen. Either she gets her toes to the bar and she is keeping the kip swing intact, or we get to a point where there's an obvious height as she goes through, at which point the kip swing falls apart. So here's how that would work. She's gonna get up onto the bar, she's gonna start with a kip swing. Good, and then what I'll do is I'll give her a target. So hit my hand, Katie, keep going. Good, she hits that twice, I'm good. I'm gonna move it up just a little bit more. Good, move it up just a little bit more. Move it up again, and at some point, like right there, she starts to break down where that kip swing will start to fall apart. So for Katie, that would be keeping the feet to about eye level is what I would have her scale to, because again, in this one, I wanna work on some of the coordination, some of the agility with regard to being up to the pull-up bar, not necessarily have them restart the kip swing every single time they get up onto the pull-up bar, and work on the kip swing. The reason I wanna do this, number one, we keep intensity high. Number two, controlling the kip swing has tremendous carryover to other movements. So think about pull up, chest to bar pull up, bar muscle up, toes to bar, ring muscle up. So I want to start developing that skill of controlling the kip swing. And in most of those movements, we're not bringing our toes all the way up to the bar, unless you're doing a glide kip or something like that. However, what I'm concerned about is starting to develop that capacity to keep the kip swing intact as they go through. And for many of our athletes, the better option is not bring our toe to the bar and having just a slightly reduced range of motion on that. And for a lot of athletes, this is going to help them build capacity over time, at which point they'll get to that end range and have control of the kip swing in a much faster time period. So try that one out. There's a lot of other options with regard to scaling the toes to bar, but I find this one to be very effective. If they've got the kip swing, they have the ability to hang from the pull-up bar. This can be a really good intermittent stop before getting the toes to the bar as they go through. So we'll see you on the next one. If you're a coach looking to get bite-sized daily tips on how to run better classes inside the affiliate, facilitated by some of the best coaches in the world inside of the CrossFit space, check out the knowledge. Everything that you're looking for is in there. How to run classes, how to correct athletes, how to know some of the conceptual things with inside of this whole CrossFit space. Check it out. Run better classes. Check out the knowledge.